Hello, welcome back. My name is Jo, and today we are filming the intro for our hardest reading challenge you'll ever do 2.0. This is a challenge made by Qwordy. In typical impulsive fashion, I saw someone make an update video for round 1 of this. It was just a suggested video on my page, and within the space of like an hour or two, I had clicked on that video and decided to start the second version of this challenge. So it actually does not start until July, officially July 7th, but I have a lot of reading time available in June, and I already finished a book in June, which you will see why I wanted it to count. But yeah, I just want to take advantage of the time that I have in June, and since all of the prompts and everything have been released, excited to get started. So in all likelihood, I will be modifying this in various ways. She is very explicit that the intention of this is not necessarily to actually finish the challenge. It is supposed to, broaden your reading, make your reading more intentional, etc., which is definitely why I want to do it. But there are certain things that are going to be difficult for me to do because I am going to do the challenge with books written in Spanish, because I've been looking for a way to kind of get more intentional with my reading in Spanish, be more connected to the culture of like the literary Spanish world. Obviously there's lots of literary Spanish bubbles throughout the world, but I've just been looking for kind of that spark with my Spanish reading, and so hopefully this will help me find it again. There are definitely some prompts that I'm very, very excited for because of how much they are going to make me work. So anyway, we will quickly go through the prompts for this. So there is a spreadsheet. So this is kind of the bingo board for the challenge here. So we will go through each of these prompts here. So by the hundreds is to read one book of each of these lengths. So like 100 to 190 pages, 199, etc. I do already know likely what my 700 page will be. This is a little bit cheating because I've already read like 100 pages of this. This is called Inés y la Alegría, and it is 715 pages. So this one theoretically shouldn't be too hard other than actually reading a book that is, 500, 600, and 700 pages. Not my strong suit. We have a 24-hour readathon. Try to read as much as you can in one day. Subgenres of choice. So pick a genre and then read 5 or 6, different subgenres within that genre. I could easily see myself doing horror or like fantasy, sci-fi. Literary obviously is a obvious choice, but I don't know. Series staircase. So we have read a standalone book, read a duology, a trilogy, and then a 4 or more series. So as you can see, I have my first book on here. It is the first in a duology, and I really enjoyed it, so I got the second book right away. Award season. This is one that I'm very excited about because I really don't know too much about any Spanish language literary awards. My cat is eating something she shouldn't be. So anyway, I don't know too much about Spanish literary awards, and so I would like to, find some to engage with. I don't really follow awards a lot in the English-speaking literary world, but occasionally I will pay attention to like the Hugo Awards or Booker International, that sort of thing. We have a TBR game challenge, so pick someone's TBR game and play it. Read a book from somewhere in the last 10 to 12 years, each of the years, Adaptations. So this one's interesting because you can choose whether to read the book or watch or listen to the adaptation. So this one could be a nice break from the reading. So TV show, I think I want to watch the Cien Años de Soledad TV show on Netflix. I did start it. I was hoping to wait until the second part was out to watch it. I don't know if that will happen within this year or not. I assume not, but I could watch at least the first season. Because to be honest, I really doubt I'm ever going to get to that book. I just don't know if Marquez is going to be my thing. And then the same story with Don Quixote. I have tried to read Don Quixote in English and Spanish, and I just don't think it's my thing. After about 50 pages, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I get your humor. I don't think I need to read hundreds more pages. So some form of adaptation of Don Quixote would be good, because I would like to experience the story. I'm just realistically don't think I'm ever going to actually read that. Where's my internet? Guess I will hotspot. Disability, read 5 different disability representations. Heritage Month, read for these. You don't have to read them during the month, which is good. Translation challenge. I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do for this, because obviously the idea is to read something written in Spanish. I could read minority languages translated into Spanish, which to be honest would mostly just be Catalan. But potentially maybe I could find something written in other minority languages or indigenous languages that were translated into Spanish. Or obviously I could always read things translated into Spanish, but it doesn't necessarily suit the spirit of the challenge for me, so we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing with this. You can also substitute any prompt that doesn't work for you with reading 5 self-published books. So that's another option. Around the world, reading a book from each of these continents. We're going to change this. Strangely, I think I'm good on Asia, because I have this book that I went to a talk for here that was written locally. So it was written by a Spaniard, but it was written like in collaboration with a Palestinian man who moved to Spain when he was a teenager or like a university student, and it is stories set in Palestine or in the Palestinian diaspora. And so this I think should suit, and I have not started it yet, so I'm going to do that one. I think Africa, I do have this ebook written by a woman from Equatorial Guinea who lives in Spain, and so that one could potentially work, but I would rather find something actually and set in Equatorial Guinea. But also I don't know how much of her story is set there, so we'll see as well. Australia might be a struggle. There are not very many Spanish speakers in Australia, and then obviously Antarctica would be a struggle as well, but you never know. I mean, sometimes things show up where you don't expect them. Obviously Europe, South, and North America are not an issue. We have a rainbow. I did count this book for Teal. Make a quote. So you're supposed to not make up a quote, but like use a quote, and you have to recreate the quote with words from the title. I am going to pick a short quote for sure. With spooky creatures, and here we see why I really wanted this book to count. Granted, I'm going to read the second one, which also is going to feature mermaids. We have merfolk here. So then we also have vampire, shifter, magic user, fae folk, spirit, zombie, other creature. So that should be fun. Become the avatar. So either the words, we got the zoomies, either the words appearing in the title or the elements appearing on the cover of the book. I think I'm going to do the elements appearing on the cover because that seems easier. We have readathon, so pick a readathon or any other readathon. Animals, love this. House pets, exotic pets, farm animals, wild animals, zoo animals. Queer alphabet, so have a book that features each of these representations. I love this one as well because I always need to seek out these books more proactively in Spanish than in English because I follow so many creators that talk about them in English, so I need to recreate that same environment for Spanish. We have a favorite prompt from the first round of this, so I highlighted the ones that I'm interested in. We have read a 500 plus page book in one day. I like this one because it's just one book, even though I don't know if I could read a 500 page book in Spanish in one day. Maybe if it was like a, easy book, maybe are there 500 plus page graphic novels? Find a book with 3 or more blurbs and read the books from each of the blurbed authors as well as the one you picked. This one at first sounded crazy to me, but I do actually think it would be really interesting because I am trying to, get more acquainted with like Spanish authors and the communities of authors that they are like, residents of. And so if there are authors that are blurbing other authors that I already like, then it might be a good indication that I might like their books too. So this could be a good discovery one. Read a completed webcomic. Love that. I'm always reading webtoons, so I would be interested in that one. Read a book published in your birth year that was in the top 10 bestsellers of that year. Also interested in that one. And then I have read a classic and an adaptation of it. We have BIPOC authors. That book that I mentioned would work for Black representation. New releases, another one that I'm very interested in because I do not keep up with new releases super well in any language. I have a Mariana Enriquez book it's technically being republished, but I think it's currently out of print, so I'm considering that a new release. And that releases in September. Mi nombre es Emilia del Valle by Isabel Allende. This one came out at the end of May, so you have like a 60-day window for this prompt officially. We have challenge yourself, so this is just a create your own challenge, and for mine I am using the challenge that I started like years ago at this point, which was to read a book from every Spanish-speaking country. And I have still been doing it. It's not that I stopped doing it. It's just that my pace slowed down dramatically because I kept getting sidetracked by finding authors from countries that I'd already read from. I was not making good progress. So I have already completed 7 of these, so I will not be like redoing those. I will just be, continuing on from that point. So I have 15 still to complete. I am counting the US as one. That's 21 official plus the US, and so that makes 15 left. So I'm collecting some ideas for these, but yeah, we're 32% done with this challenge. Then we have the nonfiction challenge. So you try to read 5 different subgenres of nonfiction. Again, I once again have that same book here, and then I have this book, which was on my 25 books for 2025, which is a science book called Cat's Dream of Quantum Physics. And I don't dabble in STEM too much anymore, so I'm interested to see, if I enjoy it. And then we have read 3 recommendations from Q. So I did leave a comment on her video asking if she had recommendations for Spanish, like books originally written in Spanish. But I did also have the thought after I commented that I could also double up on the translated books prompt for this. Maybe I will read like 3 translated books from her recommendations and then 2 self-published books, or I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it will work out. I'm not worried about it. So as you may have noticed, I did count a book 3 times, and that is one of the modifications that I'm going to make. I will still be tracking it both ways, so I will track it. The official rule is that you can double count books, so any book can be counted for 2 different prompts. I am going to track it that way so that I have like the official things. SD card filled up. Okay, so anyway, I am going to track it both ways, only counting books twice and counting them 3 times, because the most Spanish books that I've ever read in 1 year was 52 books. Then the next year I only read 42. Even double counting books, that would be something around 87 or something like that. And I just don't see that happening. And also, not every book is even going to count twice or 3 times or whatever. Even though obviously the point of this is not to like actually finish it, I do want to give myself like an actual opportunity to finish it. But obviously I still want to know whether I'm actually like finishing these prompts or not. So I think a good alternative is to track it 2 ways. 1, in a way that I feel like I actually could potentially do it, and 2, in the official, valid way. So that's, my modification to start with. We'll see if I go with other modifications along the way, but I am very excited about this. I think that there are multiple opportunities here for me to really engage with the world in a more, intentional, more well-researched way, rather than just reading the things that I come across, which there's nothing wrong with that, and sometimes you find amazing things that way, but I really haven't been lately, to be honest. I've been in a bit of a dry spell as far as reading at all, and then finding really great things when I do read. So yes, this could not have come at a better time. And so I am very excited about, this project, and we're getting an early start on it. Thanks for stopping by on this introduction, and I will see you in the next video.